Welcome back to You Can Automate. In this series of XCUITest Automation, today we are going to learn about how to capture the elements, how to know the elements, how to know the different attributes of the elements, and we'll also learn about a few of the elements like static text and the buttons. So let's begin with that. To summarize, what all things we are going to learn in this session is how to launch the sample iOS test application and how to capture the element details, right? There are two ways of capturing the element details, that is using the debug pointer with the print object, and there is another way, that is accessibility inspector. In this particular session we are going to focus more on the debug pointer with the PO, and also we learn about the XUI application, what is that at very high level, and the XUI element query, how it will be useful, and we'll also learn about different types of elements. In this session we are going to focus on static text and the buttons, right? Let's begin with Xcode now. So in the last session we have learned how to set up the project, and we have downloaded the sample project also, and if you see, this is the example we had written last time. So in this particular method, what we are going to do here is we are assigning the application to one of the object called app, and we are launching it. App.launch will launch the application. Now let's learn at very high level what is this XUI application and some of the other details. Okay, first thing is XUI application, right? This is a kind of a proxy for a given application. Say, for example, if we have a UI catalog application, and to operate that application, to do some of the actions on that applications, we need kind of a interface, right? This XUI applications acts as a proxy between user and the actual application, right? And we'll use this particular class for monitoring the application, terminating the application, or to perform some of the actions on that applications. We can use the XUI application. Now the next thing is XUI element query, right? This is another important, that this is an object which will help us to search for a particular element. Say, for example, in the application we have a buttons, we have a search bar, we have some of the pop-ups, right? To access those objects, we need some kind of an interface, right? This XUI element query acts as an object which will help us to identify the different elements, right? All these details are provided in the developer Apple website, so I will provide this URL in the description. Now we have learnt about XUI application and the XUI element query. Now the next thing is a static text. A static text is, for example, if you are seeing some of the element, a link which is displaying, that considered as a static text. The text which is displayed on the UI, we call it as a static text, and which is of type element query. And there is one more type of element, that is buttons. If there is a button on the UI, that submit button or login button, next button, like that, so those kind of elements we call it as a buttons. Again, that is of type of XUI element query. So in this particular session we are going to use all these kinds of classes and objects and elements. So this is a kind of a very high level understanding what are these four types of objects. Now coming back to the Xcode application, last time what we had done is we had written a sample method which will just launch the application and keep it ready. So what we will do now, we will understand how to capture the elements and the details of it. So one of the way to capture the element is by using a debug pointer. If you observe, this is a method and this is a class, and for each line we can add a debug pointer. How to add is just you need to click on that line number, so the debug pointer will be added. So it will highlight whenever you debug pointer is added, it will highlight with the blue color. What is that debug pointer is, whenever the test case is running, whenever the method is running, it will come to this particular line and it will pause. So you can go and do some trial and error on the application. You can try some of the code on that. So what I will do now, I will add a debug pointer at the point of this app.launch, right? And I will run my test. So it will install the application, UI catalog application, right? And it should launch also. Now what I will do, I will click on this step over so that application will get launched. Right, once application gets launched, this is how the UI kit catalog, the sample application, which is looking like. What I need to do to understand the UI element attributes. So there is, if you observe here, there is a kind of a terminal which is displayed in the Xcode. This will help us to understand more about the elements. Once the application starts, it starts logging some of the details, say what is the application name, whether it started, and what is the bundle ID of it. Those details will be displayed in this terminal. And these are the elements we consider. Here we have a lot of types of elements. We will understand one by one. Now what I will do is I will use the object called a print object, and whenever I say that the print object, I need to mention the XCUI application also, right? I'll say XCUI application. Okay, I'll just hit enter after mentioning the XUI application. So if you observe the terminal, there are a lot of details which displayed once I do a PO XUI applications. What is that is, it is saying that what is the UI kit catalog, the label which is showing here, and if you observe, this is a hierarchy. There are a lot of other elements, and if you take a look here, there should be one more label, activity indicator. This is the activity indicator which is displayed here. And if you scroll down more, there is one more item called alert views, right? And these are the names of the labels which are printed, which are showing in this application. Now if you take a look on the left side part of it, this is the type of element, static text, right? And there are some other types of element, that is a button, and there are some other elements type, that is a other. Likewise, for each type of element, for each element there will be a type which will be displayed, and you will also see the hierarchy, right? What is the hierarchy of that particular element? So that also you need to look into. So now what I will do here is, first I will identify this alert views. So let's do some of the actions on this alert views by using the static text. So this is the element on which I need to do some of the actions. What I will do, PO XUI application, right, and enclose the bracket here, dot, I will do static text. As you start typing this ST, it will show some of these suggestions also, saying that static text. I will select this static text, and after entering the static text, what I need to do, I need to mention what is the static text. So this is a type of the element, and I need to mention the label also. What is the label here? What is the value it is showing? Alert views. I'll copy that, come to this line of a statement, enclose within the double quotes, and put that value, right? After that, what I need to do, for clicking of any of element in the Xcode and the XCUI test, I need to call something called tap. This is the method which performs the tapping action here. I'll click on tap. It should click on the alert views tab. Right now, if you observe here, we are inside this alert views screen. Now again, we have a set of actions here, set of elements here, that are simple, OK, cancel, and some other elements also. Now what I will do, I will copy this and put it here in the code. So instead of XUI application, I will use app. This is already assigned to app to make it little simple. Now I need to click on the simple, right? Let's do now again alert views. Instead of displaying all the elements, I'll say static text. Hit enter. It will show you the current screen has this kind of a static text, that is simple, uh, okay, other, like that. Now I need to I want to click on simple, right? Okay, once I click on simple, this is how it will, the pop-up will be displayed. Okay, first let's click on simple here, PO. I'll just press the upper arrow. I'll get the last statement what I had written. Inside the static text, what I will write is copy this simple label and put it on this and enter tab. So now it clicked on the simple label. Now we have got one more element, right? First, before that, let me copy this line of code and put it here. Instead of XCUI application, I will use app dot tab. Now I need to inspect this pop-up and see that what all attributes it has. Now again I will do XCUI application, hit enter. Okay, now let's see what all things it has. It has lot of elements again, and if you scroll down, what we want to do here is we want to click on this OK button, right? Let's see what all attributes it has. It has a button that is of type button and the label says OK. Now how to click on this button is again the same way, PO application dot, you need to say buttons, and inside buttons you need to put this value whatever we have here. Say OK dot, I need to say tap. So it clicked on the button, right? Let me copy this line of a code again and put it here, app dot. So these are the three actions which we are doing after launching an application. So what we are trying to understand here is these are the two types of, not only two, we have a many other types, but in this session we are going to focus on two types of elements, that is static text and the button, and what actions we need to do, that we need to mention after dot tap. We have written a test case to launch an application. Click on the alert views and inside that click on simple, then click on OK button. So let's try to run this test case whatever we have written. Let me stop the existing execution whatever is happening, and I will remove the debug pointer here. So to remove the debug pointer, two ways. One, you can click on this line so that it will remove that highlighted color, or you can directly click on this deactivate breakpoint option, so it will remove all the breakpoints at one shot. Let me run this test case. So it will launch the application. It should click on the activity catalog. Now it should click on the simple. This all about elements, static text and buttons. Thank you. I will see you in the next session.